Okay, so good evening everyone and welcome to the first Digital Plymouth Meetup of 2017. What else will they applaud for? Nice to see you, Nice! Always remember how I made you do that. So, I'm sure we can all agree it's been a bit of an auspicious start to 2017. It's been a horrific man-child in charge of things and a bunch of people organising things that shouldn't really be organising things. But the less said about the last Digital Plymouth board meeting, the better. And some really great, not shouting about it enough. We had places like THINQTANQ and the College of Art, learning from some fantastic teachers, and then going away and taking all those great skills that they learned to other places, mainly the north. And then we had local businesses and big companies just not being aware of the fantastic talent that's available down here and not using them. So that was from that Digital Plymouth was born, well over 2 years ago now, terrifyingly. And so ever done. Down there. 2017 on just about something very because each and every little families. Of how see well 20 minutes all of that miss it. Marina taking pictures throughout the night, wherever Marina is. There she is, there at the back. If you don't want to have your picture taken by Marina, I mean, let us know and we'll try to not let her, but who knows. We've also got Scott from One. It's Natalia Waniczek.
Hello, my name is Natalia. I'm also in Truro. As you probably all know, my first language. I've always been learning one. Programming, I realised how similar those two are. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. What we're going to cover is what are languages, what are core components of languages, similarities in human and programming languages, and how learning human languages helped me become a better developer. So I like languages. Doesn't matter if they're programming languages or human languages. I like them all. But what is language? According to Wikipedia, language is the ability to acquire and use complex system of communication, particularly the human ability to do so. And the language is any specific example of such system. But what it really means is that there are ways of communications, and this is what I'm going to talk about. What are the similarities and differences in programming languages? Well, human and programming languages. Human languages existed for thousands of years. Programming languages have existed only for about 70 years. In fact, the mathematician Ada Lovelace in about 1824, I think, was the very first person who created an algorithm that was carried out by a machine. So she was the first one who's ever written any computer program. Human languages were created by people using it over time, as opposed to programming languages, who were specifically designed and created by opinionated individual or a group who are trying to solve a specific problem. Human languages only follows the consensus. There are 5 core components of the language. Object, verb, subject, verb, and object. It wouldn't work. Grammar, which is the set of rules, the composition of clauses, phrases, etc., etc. Vocabulary, that's words. Mary likes football. Vocabulary. Semantics. Semantics is the actual meaning of the sentence. Very often, if any sort of grammatical mistake, semantics of the sentence can be lost. The Oxford comma, just one comma, sentence completely changes. The last component is the phonetics, which is just a sound. Languages generally are part of which is group. For example, Slavic, German, for example, languages, and then we're language. I've got really example sentences in 3 different languages. Same way of and I structure cover. Example. See it's complete. Now but of course not for some people this might be the biggest problem. The best way to learn the language is to practice the vocabulary, and the best way to do that is to just use the language, practice it. Okay, are you with me so far? Yeah? Okay, cool. So now I want to talk about why learning multiple languages is really good for you, and I promise that does relate in programming. Learning languages with entirely different syntax and vocabulary, it makes you think outside of the box. It forces you to think about problems in a different way. For example, when you start learning German, you will quickly realize that they have a single word describing pretty much anything. So, you know, the six simple things in which in English you would need a whole sentence for. Like this example here, Kummerspeck, which means excess weight gain from emotional overeating. Imagine trying to explain that in just one word. How simple would that be? Similarly, in programming, we have Java and Pascal. Java-oriented programming language. To solve a problem, you need to think in object language. Naming our variables, we don't just go around speaking and referring this, that to different objects. We need to name them properly. In code, if we would name our variables better, we would avoid simple bugs and then confusion. Like this example over here, as we can see, there was a confusion between J and I, and someone spent hours trying to figure out what was wrong there. I don't want to similarly, in keeping the subject vocabulary in coding, we want to keep it simple. We want to make our name our variables, our functions shortly, but the names need to be descriptive. We don't really want to use 150 characters just to name the method, right? So that's another important thing to remember. We would like to make sure our code is indented properly and there is enough white space. It makes it so much more readable. We would like to avoid deep nesting. If we, instead of having one long function, we could always break it up into smaller functions which are named properly. This would not only benefit in optimization, but also it would make our code much more readable. So, I've explored what languages are and how they work. I've given you examples of how different human languages and learning different human and programming languages enables us to think differently about simple problems in coding. And also, hopefully, you can take some lessons from human languages and apply them to make your code better. And that's it for me. Anyone have any questions?
Quick one. I'm just wondering about, have you heard of Clean Code by Uncle Bob?
No, I have no.
It's where he actually goes through program. I read into something quite a few codes actually go into clean coding. It's almost languages in its own right, but he mainly programs in Java, but it's applicable also for C#, C, C++, Lisp, Basic, everything.
I'll look it up, thank you.
Uncle Bob. Clean code. He's very much into agile.
Right. Agile's always good, as I say. Is there any more questions?
Okay, lovely job. Thank you, Natalia. Thank you. I will definitely take notice of that. I normally just stick things in the awful person. Now we start time for a 10-minute break, and we will be back very quickly.
It's all okay. Right, let's now.
Right then, everybody, settle down. We are about to start with our second speaker right now. No one's listening. I mean, I do make this joke every time, but it's your own time you're wasting. I'll stay here all night. It's always fun. There's always someone that laughs. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So, next up, I am going to introduce you to a man that definitely didn't write his own introduction speech. The talented, handsome raconteur residing in THINQTANQ Plymouth. Welcome to the stage, Rob Wick.
Is it too much to bow and curtsy?
Could you bow, please, Mr. Wick? Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. You're too kind. So I'm here to talk to you about the importance of finding your local expert. You're going to have to forgive me. At some point, I'm probably going to take my phone out and take a picture because my children don't believe that I'm talking to this many people this evening. And frankly, this topic doesn't require that long to talk about. So, I am Rob Wick. Not sure about raconteur, Gav. But
I didn't.
just to give you a little overview of who I am and what I do, I own THINQTANQ, which is a co-working space here in Plymouth. I work for a number of businesses, own directors of, I get involved with loads of things, and I try as much as possible to help people out. So there are quite a few people in this room that I've helped out by lending equipment to or helping with events. I'm really passionate about building a community and getting everyone to work together. And the thing that I like more than anything, almost more than anything, is technology. And so that's what we do. THINQTANQ is full of very talented technical people who go about their day-to-day business, pay me a little bit of money, come and drink my coffee all day. So, let's go on with the subject, finding a local expert, or the importance of a local expert. Now I'm going to do the thing that I really hate in a presentation when someone reads what's on the screen. But this is so poignant, I feel like it needs to be done. Using a local supplier or freelancer is good for the local economy, often more cost effective, and in a majority of cases leads to better results through regular face-to-face contact. Now is there anybody here who does not agree with that? Because if not, if there is anyone, get out. We've got no time for your nonsense. It's self-evident. Using people who are nearby, getting those face-to-face meetings. Skype's great. Who doesn't love Skype? Well, okay, not everyone loves Skype. But face-to-face meetings where you can say, this is great, you've done a really good job, or this is rubbish, you need to do it again. Those are really valuable, and I've seen this from both sides, from the client side and from the contractor side. And it's so much easier to nip problems in the bud if you can have those face-to-face meetings. Everyone agree? Perfect. Premise of talk delivered. Thanks. Any questions? I just got 120 people to completely agree with me. No questions, no dissenting voices. It really didn't take 10 minutes to talk about that. But I can see there are a few puzzled faces around the room, so I feel like I might need to keep talking. So, as soon as no one else came up with a problem of localism, I'm gonna posit a few for you to consider. If everybody only uses their local expert, you can have some of these terrible things: economic stagnation, reduction in innovation. I'm not going to say it word for word because I really do hate it. Maybe bears, people, possibly bears. We can't overstate the danger of bears too much. So is it, I've just been sticking up for the local expert, and now I'm saying it might not be a good thing. And both things are true, but there is a solution. What if we all view ourselves, instead of local experts, instead of saying, actually I've got a job and I'm going to employ John from down the road to do it. What if we all view ourselves as hunter-gatherers? If we consider that Plymouth, or in some cases, seeing as we have some people from Cornwall and even Exeter, that the Southwest, the people of the Southwest, the digital experts, the experts in any field from the Southwest, go out around the place, around the world, around the country, and bring business back here. Because find global clients, get paid, benefit your local economy. You know, again, this is one of those things. Is there anyone who disagrees with this, by the way? No. This is going swimmingly. I'm actually going to get to the end really, really quickly. The problem with localism is you can end up being a big fish in a little pond. And anyone who knows my background in public aquariums will know that if you keep big fish in little ponds, sooner or later they run out of oxygen. Don't ask me how I know that. So the solution is, it is okay to be a big fish in a little pond as long as you have a fresh supply of water. And in this case, if it's not completely clear, water is a metaphor for loads of cash from rich people. I took the liberty of doing some research. This is all places that business can be. Like, we don't have to... can I use the pointer? Here we are. These are places business can be. How many people here have been to a networking meeting? Surprisingly, yeah, that's better. I felt like people were like reluctant, like it was Alcoholics Anonymous or something. And how many of you who've been there? In fact, I'm not going to even ask this question. Have you encountered the phenomenon where the network meeting vultures, dressed in suits usually, come and try and sell you something? You're like, oh, it's my first time here, I'm just here for breakfast. And then they sidle up to you and say, hey, what do you do? Are you interested in my new thing? And they're like, oh no, I just need to go over here and talk to someone else. Those are the people that are getting it wrong, I think. Now, this is all my opinion. Feel free to arm wrestle me for it later. It's entirely up to you. There is a whole wide world out there, and that's where we should be looking for business. Now, you've probably been thinking, this guy's an idiot. Why should we listen to him? Well, let me tell you. We have a tremendous pool of people just at THINQTANQ who go out and get business from all around the world. The BBC, from National Geographic, from British Geological Survey, from Body Shop. Is there anyone here who's done work for the Body Shop? There's one right there, you handsome devil. They go out and they bring business back to Plymouth, and it benefits the entire local economy. I've been doing some stats about THINQTANQ because I'm desperately short of marketing material, and I shouldn't have said that. I've been working out how many people come into THINQTANQ every day, roughly what they spend on lunch, what they spend on parking. Just by being open, THINQTANQ benefits the local economy by about £3,000 a month, just in incidental expenditure. It doesn't, it's not even the money that's coming into the city from outside. That's just what the people in the local area get from THINQTANQ being open, which is, for me, it's just like super satisfying. Now, this is a tremendous boast, but it's actually true. I totted up how much money, when I was working for a global company, I totted up how much money I had brought into the city by employing local contractors to do work from a global company. And it's about £250,000, which is fantastic. Are you proud of me? Because I need your approval. If each and every one of you aimed to do the exact same thing, the resulting economic benefit to the city would be probably that much? No, it's not that much. That'd be nice. It's just, I put some numbers down because I thought it looked really impressive. I felt like people would probably be expecting graphs and like Venn diagrams and stuff, so I thought I'd just make up some stats. Actually, if you all did that, it would be about 40-ish million, about £37.5 million just for the people in this room. So, that's a good reason. Imagine how much better life would be if we all had £37.5 million just coming into the city. So, now on to the serious bit. Now, I've been watching loads of TED Talks, and I know that now I'm supposed to sort of lower my voice a little bit and do things with my hands and pose questions and make you think. my dream is that Plymouth is a fair city. By Plymouth, I mean the southwest. That we are a forward-looking city and that we are a rival to London. Now, these are all lofty things, but some of them are already on their way. There are plenty of people in this room who are part of social enterprises, who are part of charities. Plymouth is well known around the country for being a social enterprise city, one of the first, and I'm sure Ed will correct me later if I was wrong about that. And I think the people in this room prove that we are a forward-looking city. Plymouth, I can't tell you how I know this, but Plymouth punches well above its weight when it comes to the digital sector, even though we may have been overlooked in certain earlier reports. And I think, sure, being a rival to London is a lofty goal, but you know, sooner or later, you know, what goes up must come down, right? So, I'm going to do my reading from the screen thing again because this is super important. Think of yourself as an ambassador for this city/region. Go out into the world and leave people in no doubt that you are the best at what you do. Bring the business back to our local experts because we have the talent and the vision to make the most of it. I came up with that earlier. I feel really proud of myself. Sacked! I paid them to do that just to emphasise what a brilliant point that was. And to bring my talk to a conclusion at like roughly half the amount of time that I had allocated to me, with your help, we can be Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? Brilliant. I see questions. I wasn't expecting questions. Shit. Sorry, Facebook, I just swore.
Hiya. So, if it's best to do business with a local expert, and we're encouraged to go and get clients that are outside of where we are, is it not more beneficial for those clients to be working with a local expert, or is it actually just better to be working with someone from Plymouth?
I was hoping, you know what? I was actually hoping someone would ask that. The local expert thing is, in case you missed it, it's a bit of an arms race. If everybody uses their local expert, that doesn't it becomes a zero-sum game. What we need to do is persuade everybody else in the world that their experts are rubbish and our experts are the best. The whole point of this is it'd be great to be like, I'm super benevolent about the whole thing. Everybody deserves a fair crack of the whip. But you know what? Fuck it. Sorry, Facebook. Let's bring the business back here because if nothing changes, then nothing changes, and that we need to change stuff. I think that we have a fantastic city/region. We have just the best of all of the stuff, except we don't have enough money, and other people have money, so let's go take it from them. Who else wants to take me on? Come on. I'm done. Wait, how do you do a mic drop with a clip-on mic?
Give Rob the mic. This won't be awkward at all.
No, it'll break it. That you have been easily the best audience I have spoken to today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Rob. And thank you also, Natalia, for keeping us actually now almost back on track from when we were late before. Wonderful news. Excellent. So, we are now back in for our second break of the evening. This is the slightly longer advertised break, and probably the longer in reality break too. So, grab yourselves a drink, come back, and get ready for our final speaker, which will be Ben from Made Maturity.
Thing.
Okay, everybody, can we all settle down and get ready for our final speaker of the evening? Good luck, team. Okay, so before we get on with introducing our final speaker, Ben, we do have a very small amount of housekeeping to do. Rob forgot to take his picture as proof for his children that he has spoken to this many people, so I'm going to hand you over to Rob very quickly.
Sorry everyone. Oh, amazing. I've never seen a more handsome bunch of people.
Thank you, Rob. And in another tiny bit of housekeeping, we are going to do something quite monumentous. We are going to take the first ever Digital Plymouth Meetup 360 picture right now. It's very exciting. It's a much bigger deal than I'm making it out to be. Ready? I'm going to stand roughly in the middle of you, and I'm going to take a picture, and it will magically, with voodoo, I assume, take a picture of everyone in the building. No gang signs.
I'm just keeping phone off.
You said develop. You're such a square. You're not even from round here. Right. I'm all distracted now. So, next up is our final speaker of the evening. And what is this here? Ah, yes, right, that's it. Get ready, everyone. Strap seatbelts to your ears, because Ben is about to take them for the ride of their lives. Ben from Made with Maturity.
The mic and the clicker. Wonderful. Brilliant. Well, thanks for having me. My talk this evening is the lies of the digital industry. I'm not going to expose anyone here. People think, oh, what are you going to say? But I thought I'd just give you a little bit of background about who I am, what I'm about, where I've come from. So my name is Ben Stirling. I run a web design and marketing company called Made with Maturity. We've been going for just under 2 years. And we work with a variety of clients. We've got a real heart to work with local clients here in Plymouth, but we also have national clients, and we work alongside agencies, again, nationwide, who just need that little bit of specialist skill when it comes to web design and marketing. So that's a little bit about me. Prior to running Made with Maturity, tell you a little bit about my journey. I started my career in the year 2000. On a placement year with Goss Interactive, who are a local web company. I stayed there for a year, learned so much just on a placement year, then went back to university, finished my degree, and I was lucky enough to be offered a job at Goss. Stayed there for a number of years, and really kind of just learned the foundations of my skill in kind of interactive design. And then I went off to 2-4, worked with some amazing kind of European brands and some amazing people. Many of you are in this room tonight, and we just had just a wonderful time. Again, just learning all sorts of kind of different things along the way. Then in 2009, I left 2-4 and decided to set myself up as a freelancer. Did that for a number of years, and then in July 2015, we set up Made with Maturity, web design and marketing specialists. And we just wanted to do something a little bit different. And the way that our business is structured, we have a very small team. There's 4 of us that are in-house. We kind of sit at the centre of the projects, directing them and kind of understanding what our clients want. But then we have a really strong, kind of well-tested freelance team of about 15 kind of sit around us. And we basically pull in different freelancers for different projects, basically creating different teams for, you know, as the project requires it. So quick shout out, if you're a freelancer, we want to know you, we love you, we want to work with you. We've got forms out the back. If you want to fill your details in, we just want to, extend that freelance network, especially in Plymouth, because there's such great guys here. We want to know creative people, developers, SEO, illustrators, whatever you're involved in, whether you're a senior, midweight, junior, we want to have a chat with you. Anyway, plug over, on with the talk. So that's a little whistle-stop tour of my background, where I've come from. And over the last kind of 17 years, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about the digital industry. And it's amazing. Some of the things that I really believed were true about myself and true about how I kind of interacted with clients. Over the years, I've realised some of those things that I thought were true are not true at all. They're actually lies. So I wanted to go on this journey, reveal this journey to you tonight. I want permission to be a little bit vulnerable. I'm going to just open up, the things that I've explored, things that I believed, about myself. Before we kind of go on to the next slide, the more I kind of talk about these things to different people I know, around the nation, the more I realise so many people battle with the same things. I can talk to some amazing kind of senior designers and senior developers, and I'll share some of these things that I thought about myself. They're like, I think the same. So hopefully, if you can take some encouragement, from this talk, great. If it doesn't apply to any of you, then just enjoy the beer and we'll see where we go with it. So, what are we talking about? The first lie. Lie number 1 is I'm a fake, and one day someone is going to find out. Okay? So a little bit of personal experience. I've, over my career, I've had the pleasure of working with some really big brands, with some really well-respected agencies, and sometimes I find myself amongst greatness, and I think, when are people going to realise I'm not the person they think I am? I've got this kind of, people call it the imposter syndrome. This kind of idea that actually I think I do all right. I think I do actually think I do a good job. But I have to try quite hard at it. It doesn't come really easy. It doesn't come really quickly. And I can kind of, even look around this room and know there are some designers here that I kind of really look up to, and I think, actually, if I'm being honest about it, you could probably do a better job than me. And often when we're working in agencies and working with big clients, there's those kind of feelings of doubt kind of come in. It's like, wow, when are they going to realise I'm actually just an average designer when I'm actually pretending to be like a great one? And you know what? These kind of seeds of doubt, and this worry of am I going to make the cut here? When am I going to be exposed? When am I going to be found out? Can really play a lot of damage on your confidence. But there's one test to work out if it's a lie or not, is if people keep coming back. And I'm sure you'll know it in your industries, that if people keep coming back to you, actually you do a good job. And there's really some interesting things. It's not necessarily all about how skilled I am. So as a designer, it's not necessarily about how good I am at turning a green pixel into a blue pixel with a mouse. Yeah. So people don't necessarily come to me just because of that. It might be because of the way that we are, the way that we conduct ourselves, how trusted we are. I was reminded a lot of Owen Jones's talk almost a year ago about decommoditising design. Any of you remember that over a year ago? And it was exactly about that. It's more than just a skill. It's about how we conduct ourselves, all those other kind of added layers that really kind of make us valuable. So if people keep coming back to you, it shows actually I'm all right at what I do. And if no one comes back, you probably are rubbish. But if people keep coming back, you're doing all right. So that is line number 1. I'm a fake. Someday someone's going to find me out. And once I realised that was a lie, actually I'm all right at what I do. It gave me so much more confidence. And hopefully, you too. Anyway, let's crack on. Line number 2. Line number 2 is, if a client hates my work, then I'm rubbish. And this really, it's not just for creative design. All these kind of lies are hopefully that across all kind of disciplines and fields. But I don't know about you. If you're, obviously I'm, in the creative industry. I listen to a brief. I meet with a client, and then I come up with some options. And I spend hours over crafting these things, and I show them, and I really, really, really want them to love it. And and you show it to them, and you think, are you going to like it? Are you going to like it? And I want them to say, yeah, Ben, you've nailed it. I love it. You're amazing. You're not fake. You're awesome. And that's what we're hoping for. And sometimes, and this has actually happened, sometimes clients look at my work, and I'm not going to say the word because we're on Facebook, but it's a word beginning with S and ending in T. And I had that once. I did a project for the Institute of Contemporary Arts, and they said, we want a website which is exactly the opposite of everything you think about when you think about the Institute of Contemporary Arts. And it was like, cool, yeah, brilliant. So I did this awesome concept which involved clip art and Comic Sans. And I thought, this is it, this is the opposite. And they came back with that one word, and I was like, oh no, they didn't like it. It was horrible. But now I've actually realised that if a client hates my work, especially at the initial design phase, it's not a bad thing at all. The way that we approach every project now is we want to be bold. We understand the brief. Let's give bold options. And I actually, say to my clients in the beginning stages, I say, I want strong emotion from you. I want you to tell me. If you love it, tell me you love it and tell me why you love it. If you hate it, tell me you hate it and tell me why you hate it. Because that kind of strong emotion, if someone hates it and tells you why, it's just as good a feedback that if someone loves it and tells you why. Because we're on this creative journey. And whether you see yourself as a creative or not, we're all on this journey of kind of discovery, trying to work out, trying to be a mind reader for the client, trying to get what's in their head and something which works well for them. So if a client hates your work, just embrace it. See it as part of the journey. As long as the client doesn't hate your work at the end. Because if they hate your work at the end, you're probably rubbish. Anyway, line number 3. Line number 3, if I don't know how to do something, then I'm rubbish, and therefore I'm a fake. Go to and play line number 1, and you kind of get caught in this kind of cycle. So at Made with Maturity, we position ourselves as web design and marketing experts, and we kind of position ourselves up here. And occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally, I'm in a client meeting, me being the expert, and a client will ask me something about a particular technology or a design trend, and I'll have no clue what they're talking about. And it will make me think like, yeah, I'm the expert, they've asked me this kind of curveball, and immediately, I'm not the expert they think I am, now I'm a fake, now I'm rubbish, and you get caught in this cycle all over again. And the one thing that I've learned in this kind of process is we cannot be experts in everything. Or I cannot be an expert in everything. We can be experts in everything, as a collective group here in this room. But I cannot be an expert in everything. And what I've loved about Digital Plymouth and being part of this community over the last year is building friendships. Just meeting people in a room like this, getting to know you, building up trust. And when someone asks me with a kind of curveball question, what do you know about virtual reality, for instance? I know nothing about virtual reality. I can say to my client, hold that thought, I'll get back to you in a couple of days, and I can give one of you guys a shout. Say, look, can you give me some tutorials? Can you give me some pointers? For something like virtual reality, I definitely probably wouldn't be asking for a tutorial. I'd be looking to partner with you. And for me, that's where the real kind of growth and the real kind of exciting part of Digital Plymouth is all about. It's about creating those relationships, working together, winning projects that I couldn't win on my own, that you might not be able to win on your own, but together we can go and win something bigger. So that really excites me about collaborations. And just kind of a very quick one on this subject of collaborations. I think if you're going to do a collaboration, and we do lots of them, we've got a small team, but we're always looking to do collaborations. It's very clear. It's very important to be very clear on the boundaries of the projects. Understanding who owns the client, who's the lead party. We work with lots of other design companies in Plymouth to do marketing for them, and we're very clear that we're not going to kind of step on their design toes. If anything kind of comes back, we'll kind of forward the design back through the main partner. We'll just do the marketing. So we're very clear on boundaries. If you want to chat, I could talk for hours on boundaries and how we've done it and mistakes and all those sort of things. If it interests you and you want to have a chat, then come and chat to me afterwards. It's just good to be clear on boundaries. So those are the three lies that I believed, for a large part of my career. And I really felt that they really held me back because I believed they were truths, and really held me back in my confidence. But once I realised they were lies, it's given me so much more confidence. So knowing that I'm not a fake, that I'm not a rubbish designer if clients hate my work, and if I don't know how to do something, I can ask someone. I can ask and they can teach me how to do it, or I can ask and we can kind of partner together. And once I kind of really embrace those three things, it's given us so much more confidence and really helped us in our industry. So in terms of tonight, I hope these, some of these points, if you've been able to relate to them, I hope it's been able to give you some confidence. Like I said, I've talked to some great senior designers and developers who struggle with the same issues. Not everyone's going to struggle with these. I'm sure there's going to be people here that are brilliant and they know it. Well done. But if it's helped you on your journey, then great. That's what this talk's been about. And just to say, for us, we really want to see the people in Plymouth who are in the digital industries just get more and more confident, just to go out and win bigger and bigger projects, like the kind of exactly the things you've been talking about. And on our heart is to really, we want to make Plymouth famous. We want to make Plymouth famous to be a well-respected, awesome digital hub in the UK. So, there you go. That's me. If you want to chat to me, you want to email me, feel free. And yeah, that's my talk. Over to you. Do we have any questions? Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Yes.
Do we have any questions?
Well done.
I see that hand.
Just talk really loud. What do you wish you'd known 2 years ago?
Oh my word. What do I wish I'd known 2 years ago? I was chatting to someone the other day who was, probably just 2 or 3 months ago, who was quite a senior sort of designer, sort of strategist, and just talking about how they went about do business. And they said they weren't ever afraid to punch above their weight. And I think often, for me in my life, I can often put like a ceiling on where I think I should be. And once I kind of heard that, I think, and I've literally heard that in the last sort of 3 or 4 months. Don't be afraid to punch above your weight. Just go for it. The worst that can happen is they'll say no. And I think that's something we've really embraced, over the last kind of 6 months. And we've seen, our business kind of go in different places. So, yeah. 2 years ago, someone said to me, just go for it. Punch above your weight. Be awesome. Let's do it. Okay, thanks. Right, we've got something special. So, hashtag share the cookie love. Let me give you a little bit of background of what this is all about. This has nothing to do with this cookie here.
He's already got his own hashtag.
So at Made with Maturity, we love doing websites, but we love people, and we love food. So every client meeting we go to, we take cookies with us. We normally do a weird selfie with myself and someone else, and we'll put it on Twitter, we'll put it on Facebook with the hashtag share the cookie love. So tonight we've got everyone a lovely cookie. So you can eat it a little bit. Don't eat it just all of it, because we're going to do a photo. We're going to do a big Digital Plymouth selfie with cookies. This is a shout out to the providers of the cookies. We're based over in Plimpton, just down the road, and there's an awesome coffee shop in Plimpton called Fiddler Coffee. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, have you heard of it? These cookies are from Finland Coffee. So they've given them to us at cost price tonight, which is wonderful. So big shout out, awesome cookies, awesome coffee, and they've got a sign on their window that says probably the best hot chocolate in the world. And I'm a hot chocolate fan, and so I thought I'd test this one, and it is. I think it is the best hot chocolate in the world. Finland Coffee in Plymouth. So there we go.
Amazing.
Right, we're going to take a photo, okay? I'm going to stand at the front. I'm going to do a selfie. As many of you as possible, try and get in the frame, and let's see if we can go trending tonight.
Yeah, we've got 360.
Right, let's get the frame, guys.
Start.
Is it a professional one as well? Brilliant. Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben. Thank you for the cookies too. And thank you for giving Cookie another hashtag, as if you didn't need any more. Whilst we're all sufficiently entertained eating cookies, there are still a few more up here. So if you can get up here before I finish them all later on, you might have a chance at that. So next up, we have got some time to listen to our sponsors from this evening, which is Aptus Recruitment. And it is Sean, wherever you are, somewhere. Head down, there he is. He's on his way. So Sean's going to just talk about Aptus Recruitment and the Aptus Guide, and I shall not take up any more of your time.
So, hi, yes, we're your humble sponsors, Aptus Recruitment. I'm Sean, here to talk to you about the Aptus Guide. So we recently sponsored a Digital Extra event, so we could talk about the same subject. And at the start, I just asked for a show of hands as to who has heard of the Aptus Guide, and nobody put the hand up, which can be expected, because we were only in the concept stage then. But now we've launched, and we are all raring to go. So I'm going to ask for the same show of hands. I'm hoping for not so much of a backfire, but how many people here have heard of the Aptus Guide? Okay, we're about a dozen more than Exeter, so you can give yourself a round of applause. So, for those that don't know what it is, let's bring you up to speed. So we are recruiters, please don't boo. We recruit in the digital and the creative space. Essentially we speak with a lot of clients and a lot of candidates. Now, then clients and candidates, they tell us various different things. The clients generally say that there's a lack of talent here. The candidates tell us that there's a shortage of opportunities. And so we, being in the middle, think that there's possibly a little gap there as recruiters that we can help to essentially fill in terms of providing some literature that can maybe change the perception that you have to go to a bigger city in order to further, or I don't know, carve a career in the digital or the creative space. So we set about surveying a lot of companies in December and January. And from that, we have been able to create a guide. I say we create it, it's actually the guys from Construct, so Steph and Lee in the background. And you may not know what you're applauding for now, but I just want you to give them a round of applause if you can. So, absolutely fantastic company. They have pretty much captured exactly what we were looking to showcase with the guide. And essentially it is a free candidate-centric guide to digital and creative employers and opportunities in the Southwest with two aims. One, to assist in retaining talent in the region, and two, to attract candidates into the area from outside. So what's included? So first and foremost, I mentioned the survey. The survey results are in there. So we've produced infographics and stats on salaries, on the progression opportunities in the area, on social culture side of things as well, and essentially just everything that I suppose a candidate would look for when they're searching for a new job. We also inquired about skill sets that companies employ, who they currently employ, who they have employed in the last 12 months, and who they're looking to employ in the next 12 months. And from that, we've been able to use highly sophisticated algorithms, seriously, in order to create a demand factor on skill sets. So you can have a look at your skill set and see essentially how in demand you are. Featured employers, there are 15 featured employees in there from Devon, Somerset and Cornwall. There are a few representatives of those employers in here. Essentially, it's an inside look at them to give a taste, I suppose, of the employers in the area and what's on offer. David from Relocate Southwest has provided some information on the infrastructure. We'll go back. Information on the local infrastructure, so essentially a starting point for people that are looking to relocate in. There's an overview of the local networking events and the relevant meetups, and then essentially an interview with 2 local experts, one of which is Paul Bird from Digital Plymouth and Elixir. So, how you can get involved. First and foremost, you can download the guide from accessrecruitment.com/AppsGuide 2017. If that's a bit too much of a mouthful and too much for you to remember, I think the guys at Digital Plymouth will be sending it out in a follow-up email. That's correct, so look out for that. There's also an opportunity to help us with our next project, which is an employee survey. So we're looking to produce a guide now for businesses, digital, creative, tech businesses in the southwest. And so we're looking to survey employees. So essentially the opposite of this guide. If you have a little look out on our Twitter, you'll see a link to the survey. And again, I think that might also be, yes, it may also be in the email we sent across. Or you can come across and speak to us, drop your card in with us, or we've got some pen and paper, you can write your email address down and we'll send you a link direct. By completing the survey, you'll essentially be helping to promote the Southwest as digital, creative and tech hubs. And there's also a chance of winning a £50 gift voucher to a retailer of your choice. We've got 3 of them to give away. And if you sign up to our mailing list tonight, I think there's an additional one to give away there as well. So any questions will be stood at the back. Myself and Tom, chap in the flat cap over there, just come and have a chat with us. Cheers.
Okie dokie, thank you very much to the guys from Access Recruitment. As you know, they're on the back there. If you guys want to chat with them a bit later, then you can definitely do that. One final thing before we move on to all of our community announcements. I would just like to get you all to say thank you one more time to all our 3 fantastic speakers who I can't tell you enough, all their time for free. Retrospective apologies for the fruity language in our middle talk.
Just can't fucking help myself.
As always with all these events, if you've missed the chance to ask any of those 3 people a question, the opportunity to ask them questions for free is now over. They will only answer your questions in return for alcohol or cookies. They're now £10 each. Did we not? Sorry, we didn't put it in the email. Awkward. So let's move on to our community announcements now. What I would like to actually point out to everyone as well, when we did this event first time over 2 years ago now, we did the whole community announcement thing, and we had about 3 slides when I went back now. Actually, what we had to do this week was look at the best part of about 19 slides worth and try and condense them down so we didn't sit here and talk more about community events than we did about the 3 speakers combined. So I am going to try and rattle through these as quick as I can. I will point out all the relevant people that are in the room tonight that you can then go and talk to and find out more details about all of this stuff from. So please carry on with all the tweeting and all of that kind of stuff. We've got loads of... My phone's been going mental, my stupid smartwatch has been vibrating all night. I need to work out how to switch these things off. So, first up, we've got a collection of different communities here that do loads of different events. At the time of putting these slides together, all of these communities didn't have anything currently up and running and ready to go, but they will be having something at some point. co-organiser, which is the first one there, Tony, the man over there, is your man to speak to. If you enjoy my presentation style from hosting event, you will definitely enjoy my the co-organiser event, because I'm also hosting that too, as well as actually speaking there too. Either they're desperate for people to speak, or Cornwall is not as full of technical people as I'm led to believe. Next up is Agile Southwest, who is also Tony. He's the man to speak to. Cornwall Geeks. Also, no, not Tony. Cornwall Geeks, you've got Natalia down there to go and speak to. Mesh, which you can just come and speak to either myself or Rob. Plymouth JS, which is the beautiful, handsome Andy Mantell down there. And Plym Web, which would be Will Skates, who's not here this evening, but they're on Twitter, they're on Meetup. All of this stuff is very easy to find using the power of the internet. Next one up, we've got our friends in the north, Digital Exeter. The next Digital Exeter event is the Thursday, the 30th of March, and I believe they are moving to a brand new location. And Rob is your man there to go and speak to about that. It is absolutely fine to support everything that Digital Exeter do, just because they're not Plymouth, it's okay. They've got another couple of events that they're partnering up with people. There's a lot of text on there. I'm not going to be that person that sits there and reads it, but we are going to send all of this detail out in the email. Chartered Institute of Marketing in a Digital World Day conference, which you can get some discount off for those tickets from coming to the event tonight, and the Like Minds conference in the 29th of September. All of that detail will be in the email that we send out to you. Digital X are also partnering up with the Met Office on the Space Apps Challenge with NASA. If you go onto the website, this looks really cool. Basically, creating space apps and all kinds of fancy stuff like that. If that's something that you like doing, that is your thing to go to. If you want any more questions and things like that, Rob is also one of those people that will happily answer questions as long as you buy him alcohol. Next up, we've got the crowdfunding meetup. That's not a spelling error. 27th of March, 7 till 10. There's a small group of us on Facebook that we now get together kind of regularly to discuss any tips and things like that you have on crowdfunding. We have got a few people that are somewhat crowdfunding experts and have run previous crowdfunding stuff, so they can give you some genuine, real-life advice if you've got a crowdfunding thing coming up. Next up is TEDx. This is in a week's time. I don't really know why I'm telling you about this, because the tickets are sold out and you can't actually go. But we are going to video all the talks, so you will be able to see all the video a couple of days after that. We probably will have some live stuff going on, and our very own Chris Hunt will be speaking at his very first TEDx. Wherever Chris is, there he is. Massive round of applause for Chris. He's going to do an amazing job, even though he is a little bit terrified. And then tomorrow evening, if you're a fan of BAFTA award-winning game developers by the name of Ian Lobb, this is the event for you. Jack, the rowdy one from earlier, that's not even from round here, is the man to speak to about that. And again, you can find the game devs and all of those guys in there. They do loads of events like this. It genuinely isn't just for people that are game devs. I've been along to them before and I have been welcomed with open arms, at least to my face. And it's really good fun. Yes, and so the studios have a new game, an app out. Cheap plug alert. I will tell you, this is the most fiendishly difficult game in the world. You've got to add things that I was not expecting at 9 o'clock at night. So next up we've got, so this one came out on Twitter from the people from Data Play and Plymouth City Council. They are somewhere, there they are, the rowdy bunch at the back. I helped them out with this for the kind of pilot events for this. Basically they are looking for people to come in and teach some of the council officers more new and interesting digital skills. It's an hour a week, you get paid for it, and you kind of give them some ideas for stuff. There's more details on their Twitter, and you can also email them for more details too. It's a really good fun thing to do. I really enjoyed it, so I hope someone else takes up the opportunity as well. They have also got the next Data Play date announced, but not a venue yet, I believe. But no, we have official confirmation. There is no date venue yet. But that's the date, so get very excited, get ready for an arts and culture themed Data Play, which I'm sure will be very exciting. And then we also have another thing for Tony, who is hosting Plymouth's first ever one-day multi-track conference with a creative twist called Future Sync. If you're a fan of my presentation style, this will be the event for you. Disappointingly, I'm not hosting all 3 tracks because I wondered how that was going to happen. I was hoping for a quad bike or something, but apparently I'm just doing one. But I believe they are announcing tickets very soon. I believe if you sign up to the mailing list, you will get early access on tickets and things like that. And I'm probably not meant to tell you this, but there's a guy called Chris Heilman that will be speaking at that talk. Tony said not to tell you, but to hell with him. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to swear. I can keep my language less fruity. And very last, we have got the, after the barn-burning success of the last Digital Plymouth conference, we're going twice as big this year. This will either accelerate the breakdown of my marriage, or this will do really well. 7th and 8th of September, we're going to have a conference day, followed by a workshop day, using some of the great community and online digital communities that we've got in Plymouth will be helping us to do the workshop day, simply because we don't have time to do it ourselves. And, in further excellent news, you can buy super early bird tickets now. Ooh, there's a fancy animation, I didn't know that. Hang on a second. Ready? Now! Dance puppets. So, go to the Digital Plymouth website, digitalplymouth.com, and there will be details to buy those tickets. They are very early bird, they are very limited. If their last year is any indication, they will sell out very quickly, and we'll be very happy. Speaking of which, we will need speakers and ideas for workshops and all kinds of stuff for that. Again, going on to the Digital Plymouth website, which is digitalplymouth.com, there is a speaker application form. We're going to look at everyone's. The theme is going to be breaking boundaries, as the previous one was beyond boundaries. So make of that theme what you will, pop your speaker submission in, and there will be loads more details coming out about all of that in the next few days and weeks. Finally, we need to just say a thank you to Ben from Made with Maturity, who's been partnering and kind of with a sponsor of us for the last kind of 12 months almost, and eventually, I don't know where I was going with that. Start again. Cookies. Eventually something cookies. Thank you to the wonderful staff of the Loft who do a fantastic job every time we're here. And thank you for guarding my card behind the bar from any marauders. And thank you to Science Express who've done the fantastic signs here behind us that I'm currently standing in front of. There you go. And we also need to say thank you to all of our partners that help us make Digital Plymouth a possibility. We are still currently doing this completely for free, out of our own time, and I think I can speak for all of us when we say we are still enjoying it. It's still a really good thing to do. We get a massive, it's a great thing to do when we come and do events like this. We see so many people really engaged and kind of promoting the great city that we all really love. So thank you to the guys from Elixir. Thank you to Hannah from Data Play. Thank you to Sabrina from Plymouth Co-work, who's currently in France and probably can't hear this. Thank you to me from Dig Lab. Thank you to Mike from Tin Digital. Thank you to other Mike from Blue Screen IT. And thank you to Rob from THINQTANQ. And we also need to say thank you to the other people that have helped us tonight. So we've got Megan and Chris, who were checking you in on the doors, making sure we kept all the riffraff out. Thank you to Tony for putting on every other digital event in Plymouth and running our social media this evening. Thank you to Marina for taking pictures. Thank you to Scott, wherever he is, there he is. Thank you to Scott for taking some pictures of us too. And I think that is about it. Oh yeah, we do need to say, of course, thank you to Cookie, the man who now has 2 hashtags, for running the live stream all night. Luckily it wasn't as painful as it was last time, I believe. So thank you very much. We will all be more than happy to accept your adulation in the forms of drinks and hugs at the end of the night. I also... And not forgetting, of course, Becky at the front, who has been miking up all the people, holding the iPads up. Smooth, no one noticed, right? Excellent work, Carrie. And that's it. So thank you very much. If you've got any questions, that's all our contact details. Get in touch with us if you want to speak at an event like this, or you want to speak at our conference. Come and talk to us, and we were very much looking forward to welcoming you back next time.